Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. So the other day I was shopping at a thrift store and I found a great find. I found Rude Boy featuring The Clash. This is a full-length movie on VHS. And there's the front of it and the side of it. And this thing is in mint shape. And I saw this and I had to buy it. Paid like $2 for it. And I actually watched it last night. Now this is a very special movie for me, because this is how I got into The Clash. And as you can see, I am a big fan of The Clash. I have all their albums, box sets. You don't see the box sets here, but I got them. And I'm a huge fan of The Clash. But it all started when I saw this movie on a TV show called Night Flight. And Night Flight was a TV show that ran on the USA Network back in the day before we had MTV. So when you had cable TV here on Long Island, there used to be these commercials. They would have Sting and Mick Jagger and other celebrities saying, "I want my MTV. Call your cable company and demand MTV." Because we didn't have MTV. And I was like, was counting down the days and the months to get MTV. But before we had MTV, there was this TV network. Are they still around? USA Network? And they had this really strange, interesting show that I discovered called Night Flight. That's what the opening promo of it looked like. Never seen anything like it. It actually aired. It started airing in June of '81, and it ran through the end of '88. It ran on Friday and Saturday nights. I would start watching it. It would start at like 11 o'clock, and I would start watching it, give or take, around 11 o'clock. And I would always fall asleep to it. When I would wake up in the middle of the night, it was still on. This show, Night Flight, literally was on Friday and Saturday nights from 11 o'clock, 3-4 hours a night. And it was totally unique. There was no host. They just would have this voiceover. I could still hear it in my head. And it was just an interesting show because they would show different things. They'd show videos, but they would show short films. They would even show full-length movies that you wouldn't see anywhere else. Not anywhere else, even on cable TV at that time. And I totally remember seeing Yes Songs, the Grateful Dead movie, Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, Andy Warhol's Dracula, Breaking Glass. What was her name? Helen O'Connor was in that. Kentucky Fried Movie, the comedy, Groove Tube type movie. John Waters' Pink Flamingo was on that. I saw that even the end where the guy, Divine eats the dog shit. Remember that? Like yesterday. But watching Night Flight, one night I put it on, and they showed the whole movie of Rude Boy from The Clash. And I was just, I was amazed. You know, I knew of The Clash, didn't have any of their albums at that time. And I just watched that movie, and maybe because it was late at night and it just sucked me in, but I just loved that movie. The movie, the way that it works, it's Rude Boy is a movie, and it was filmed in '78 and '79. It was released in 1980, and it tells the story of this guy named Ray Gange, who is a Clash fan. He's on the dole, but he also works in like a sex shop, and it's cool. They show him in there, and they show him getting the unemployment checks and going to see the Clash live. He's a fan of the band, and they're not a huge band yet at that time. And he starts hanging with the band, and he asks them for a job, and they're like, "What can you do?" He doesn't really have any talent. But they take him on as a roadie, even though he's not really very good at it. He mostly just drinks and hangs out with the band and shags a groupie or two. But through his experience with the band, you get to see the Clash develop and get bigger and more professional, and eventually they need professional roadies. They have touring, and they're playing the country, and it kind of leaves Ray Gange as an accessory that they really no longer need towards the end of the film, because he doesn't really have any roadie skills. But you kind of develop with the Clash through Ray Gange, and it's a fascinating juxtaposition that I just loved. There is some amazing live footage of the Clash in this movie. You maybe could see little pictures of it. But there's a legendary concert they did back in the day, Rock Against Racism, in a park. That's the shot of it right there. Tom Robinson, I think, was the headliner at that time. And they also showed him in the studio, recording, giving him enough rope. turns out the Clash were not fans of the movie. They kind of disassociated themselves from the film. They didn't like some of the side stories within the film. But for me, Rude Boy was my introduction to my love affair to this day with the Clash. And you see amazing live footage of Police and Thieves and Career Opportunities. Shows you some of the songs. London Burning, White Riot's in there a bunch of times. White Man and Hammersmith Palais. I'm So Bored with the USA. Janie Jones is in there. The Prisoner, Tommy Gun, Safe European Home. I watched it last night. What's My Name? I Fought the Law. There's some great footage of them in the studio. They're working on Garageland. All the Young Punks is a great scene with Joe Strummer singing into the mic. He's got the cans on, so you just hear him singing. Stay Free, amazing footage of Mick Jones. Mick Jones looks great in this movie. He's got that Keith Richards rock star look. You really get a fair feel even then, and this is the beginning of the Clash, of their interdynamics. They're really a band. You can see they're not like best friends. If you know a lot about the Clash, you know when they fired McClash, they said he had a lot of attitude and was acting like a rock star. And in this movie, he totally looks like a Keith Richards. You know, he's got the big hair, and he's always touching his hair. And there's one scene where they're supposed to be rehearsing, and Mick Jones shows up really late, and that was part of their issues with him. So you know, there's little details that if you're a fan of the Clash, you'll pick up on, which is really cool. But after watching this movie, I was just hooked on them, and that's when I picked up London Calling, which was already out. I knew Train in Vain, but what was the other one? Lost in the Supermarket was getting a lot of radio play at that time. So I went out and I got London Calling, and I thought it was the greatest. And then I went and picked up their first two albums as well. And ever since then, I got everything, because I still listen to The Clash pretty regularly. Eventually, I got MTV. And then I lost track of Night Flight, because MTV was running 24 hours a day back then, 24 hours of music. It was just amazing. So I didn't need to really hook up with Night Flight from 11 till 4 in the morning or whatever it was. MTV was just on all the time. But when I think back, it all started with this. And I found this courtesy of Night Flight. And boy, does it give me a warm feeling in my heart. And there it is. I think it's in syndication now. You could sign up for Night Flight if you want to pay for it. I don't know if it's still got the movies. I don't know what's on it. But back in the day, yeah, it was really special for me going to sleep Friday and Saturday night, you know, late at night, and just watching that thing. And sometimes they just had the coolest stuff on there. So it was just a fantastic experience of going to bed almost and looking forward to watching that show and falling asleep to it. And what a wonderful memory I have. It's a treasure. And that's how I got into the Clash. So I thought you would enjoy that story. I actually watched Rude Boy, I think I just told you, last night, and I still loved it. You may not. It's not the greatest movie, but if you're a fan of the Clash and you're in the right frame of mind, I think you will totally dig it. It is just really cool, even if the Clash don't like it themselves. So there you go. Rude Boy by the Clash and Night Flight, my memory and beginning love affair of the Clash. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts. Did you ever hear of Night Flight? Did you used to watch it on USA Network before you had MTV, or even after? Well, maybe you watch it now. I think you can download it or something, but I haven't. So let me know your thoughts. And if you're a fan of the Clash, what do you think of Rude Boy? Because I think it's pretty awesome. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It is Sunday night, and I'm going to download this thing and post it. And hope you had a good weekend. But as I always say, I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, enjoyed your weekend. And by the way, if you are new to my channel, or you're not new but you never subscribed, yeah, give it a little subscription. You'll hear about the latest videos and help my little channel to grow. And that would be really cool. I would appreciate that. But thanks so much again. Have a great night. And I'll see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show.